It's the end of January, and that usually means that some of our creative goals and overall goals for the year have kind of started getting pushed aside. You start the month with really great energy and you have high goals for the year, and then you kind of start ending the month with a little bit of disappointment. I want to talk about why that happens, especially with craft and hobby goals, because most of the time it isn't a motivation problem. January is full of goal setting and fresh starts and productivity fantasies of all the things we're going to get done in the new year, along with a lot of this is the year that I fill in the blank energy. I see a lot of crafting goals kind of fall into two categories: the totally reasonable and the I'm going to learn how to knit and I'm going to knit 24 sweaters this year kinds of goals. While setting like a huge high goal sounds super motivating, it can also be terribly overwhelming. I look at knit 24 sweaters, and even as somebody who knits, I'm going, that's too much. That's way too much. Especially for things that we're trying to have fun with. Like, I like the idea of goal setting for most things, but like life is already kind of feeling unreasonable. So why set unachievable goals for things that you like to do? That seems silly to me. So let's talk about why some of these goals might go by the wayside by the end of January. One, they might be a little vague, like learn to knit. There's no action in that. It's vague and it's floaty. And if I put that on my list of things I wanted to do this year, I'd look at that and I would go, I don't know how to do that. I don't know where to start. I am overwhelmed. So, one, if it's vague, it's going to be hard to achieve. It's not a bad intention for sure, but it doesn't give you a place to start. Then there's the insanely ambitious camp of goals. We feel really excited about the new year. Like, this is the year that I'm going to be more productive than ever. So we set these goals from a place of a fantasy of the if everything goes perfectly right for me this year and I feel better than I've ever felt, I'm going to do all of these things. I love that, but let's be so real. Life is going to life. You're not going to feel good all the time. You're going to be tired. You're going to get sick. Life is going to happen. And you're not going to get to everything. And if you set an insane goal, achieving that goal kind of starts to feel like a job. And I would hate for your hobby to start to feel like work. Hobbies are for stress relief and fun and community, and layering in another level of goal achieving just doesn't sound like something we need to do when we're trying to have fun, you know? These goals fail for kind of opposite reasons, but they do have one thing in common. They don't fit with real life. Real life is messy and busy, and when goals don't fit into your life the way that it exists right now, it can be easy to feel like at the end of the year when you're looking at your goals that you're the problem. And I'm here to tell you that you're not the problem, your goals are the problem. We need to set better goals. So how do we set crafting and hobby goals for the year without making ourselves crazy and without setting goals that feel insane or make us feel insane? Because your goals need to match the way you live right now, the way your life is going right now. A good goal does three things. It makes the first step obvious. It makes the second step obvious, and it leaves room for you to adjust your goals throughout the year. That's it. That's the whole trick. So when we take our goals from vague or extreme and we take them into this concrete category, what does it look like? What does that look like for us in this hobby area of our lives? Let's look at this from the learn to knit example that I talked about. We're not knitting 24 sweaters. We're maybe in the first week of, let's say we're starting in February because our goals haven't been started yet. That's cool. We still have 11 months left in this year. So we're going to start in February. We make the rules. So let's use the learn to knit example. Instead of learn to knit and knit 24 sweaters throughout the year, let's try find a pattern that I want to knit. That could be it. You get to decide whether you're doing a scarf or you're going to start with a sweater, or it doesn't matter. You can start with whatever you're excited about. You're making the rules. After the first week, you've got you've got what you want to knit. Say week 2, you're like, okay, let's get started. So say week 2, your goals are then buy the supplies and like print the pattern or find the video that goes with the pattern. Week 3 could be learn to cast on. At that point, you've got your supplies and you're ready to go. Maybe you just learn to cast on. That's it. Goals don't have to be like lofty and huge and like you're making mountains and like leaps every week. It can just be like a little step forward. And then week 4 could be start the pattern. It's not that you like gathered your supplies and learned and started your sweater all in one weekend. You could totally do that. I'm not saying that you have to do it the way I'm saying. But if you're someone who gets overwhelmed like me, starting that little bit at a time and planning it out bit by bit feels more achievable. The goal is to create a plan that works with your schedule, works with your life. If you've only got 15 minutes in a week, finding the pattern could be your one step. Maybe next week you've got half an hour. You find your supplies, you order them. Maybe the next week you're like, I've got, 15 minutes. I can learn to cast on today. And maybe I can cast on my project today. And then the next week you're like, I've got a couple of hours and I can just get started. It's just about taking the next step every time you pick up your new hobby or your already existing hobby. The cool thing about these goals too, these new year, new me, big energy goals, sure, you can plan them in January and stick to them to the end of the year, but you can adjust them anytime you want. So say you get to the end of February, and you've already learned a lot or accomplished a lot, maybe you adjust your goals a little bit. Maybe you just like check things off and see how far you can get past your goal if you're feeling good. You don't have to set perfect goals this time of year. You can set goals that work with your life right now. And if your life changes, just change your freaking goals. Like, nobody's coming to like find you and tell you that if you don't achieve your goals, something bad is going to happen. Like, if you say I want to knit 12 sweaters this year and you only knit 6, like you knitted 6 more sweaters than you would have if you knitted 0. Crafting is not that serious. Don't let goals be the thing that like makes your hobby experience, your crafting experience, your knitting, your sewing. Don't let goals be the thing that makes it not fun. If you're like, I would never set goals for crafting, that's fine. This is not for you. That's okay. But there are a lot of people who are new to hobbies or are new to a certain craft and they want to set some goals that they can see themselves achieve throughout the year so they can look at what they learned. Remember, rigid goals break, flexible ones don't. And remember that January is not a verdict on how the whole year is going to go. January, we're just getting out of the holidays. It took me at least 2 weeks to like get my energy back from all of the socializing and the making and all of those things that I did over the holidays. Like, this is a hibernation time of year. So if the productivity fantasy version of yourself and also the I'm exhausted from the holidays version of yourself both plan for January, odds are your goals might need adjusting right now. That's cool. I say adjust them. If you're looking at your goals and you're thinking, honey, that is unachievable, just freaking change them. Changing your goals isn't a failure. Changing your goals is a sign that you're adjusting to life, that you're adjusting to where you're at that week or that month. Otherwise, I just want you to know that you're not behind. If you haven't touched your crafting goals for the year yet, that's cool. If you didn't want to make goals for the year, that's cool. If you're already blown through a lot of the goals you had for the year, I love that. Just don't let goals that the most productive version of yourself set be the reason that you quit because you're overwhelmed. Decide that you're going to adjust and you're going to make some cool freaking things this year. I hope this has been helpful for you or for past you or future you. I'll see you next week. Bye.